was an Iwi Kupuna conference just recently on Maui this past May. And did any of you here attend that conference in May? No? How about up here? Yes. Okay, two of three, right. It was really, really good. They concluded, among other things, that the state does not adequately protect our ancestral burials, okay? And it kind of reminded us all that we have to continue to be diligent in approaching this issue on all of our islands because we have Iwi Kupuna found on all of our islands. We're very fortunate to have 3 experts here this evening to share their experiences in Mana'o on this subject. And they are Terry Lee Keko'olani Raymond at my far, far left. And today we have Andrea Kalai. She's actually a fill-in for Mana Caceres, and she's just as expert as he is. And right next to me here to my immediate left is Keoni Alvarez. So here's Keoni. Upon discovery of Iwi believed to be his relations, a kuleana was born in his na'au. This discovery basically changed his life. Keoni currently works as an independent producer, director, and cameraman with numerous studios and on multiple films. His most recent project is entitled Kapu, Sacred Hawaiian Burials. His film projects focus to strengthen Hawaiian identity and to preserve practice and perpetuate the Hawaiian culture. So please welcome Keoni Alvarez.
When I was about 8 years old, my ohana has discovered a native Hawaiian burial cave, or a Hawaiian burial cave near our home. At that time, we didn't know it was a Hawaiian cave until the archaeologists at that time came to verify that it was Hawaiian. And later, we found out that only Hawaiians, would put iwi or bones into a cave. And although we didn't grow up in the full traditional way of Hawaiians of learning and practicing traditional and customary practices like other families, all we knew in our ohana was that burials was kapu. And what that meant for us was that, and from what my mom was taught and taught us, was that, this is just something sacred, and also it's not to be touched, not to be spoken of, or not to be displayed. It's kapu, sacred to us as Hawaiians. And that's all we needed to know at that time to leave the cave alone, because we did not know who exactly was in there and what was the traditions, what was the purpose of why they were there. That didn't matter to us at that time. All we just wanted to do was just to respect the burial and just leave it as is. And then in the early 2000s, everybody knows it's a development boom, right? So everybody from all different parts of the world coming all over, purchasing property, developing their homes, and wanting to build, especially on Hawaii Island, where the properties are affordable and cheap. People started to develop and encroach upon where we live. And more bulldozers, people starting to build their homes, and we started to have like red flags of what's going on. Soon enough, we've seen a for sale sign go onto the property, which the cave that we've been protecting was for sale. So when we first initially reported the cave, we thought that the state, being that there was an archaeologist that came out, that the site was documented, right? And for us, we're thinking, okay, great. As Hawaiians, we're just thinking, oh, okay, it's preserved. Nobody's going to go there and desecrate the site. But when the for sale sign went up, that's when I knew that it was just something weird and something strange, that why is this property being sold? Isn't it documented? And when it was purchased, a landowner wanted to develop 2 homes on the property. And this is small property, small pieces of or a small parcel that just one swipe with the D9 or big bulldozer, it's gone. And for me, it wasn't about that it was a Hawaiian burial cave, I didn't care if it was a Chinese, Japanese, or anything. This was somebody's family. Somebody put them there. And then we found out that there was no recording of our documentation. Now, I have this landowner who just purchased the property, and I told him that he cannot bulldoze the property. Now, this landowner was giving me 3 months to either come up with the money, and for me, It wasn't about money, you know? So what I had to do was I had to, one, get the state to recognize me as a cultural descendant so that I can give a voice to this cave. I didn't care if it was a lineal descendant or what. You know, I'm speaking for the voiceless. So I wanted to make sure that they would recognize me. It wasn't easy. You know, we had to go to numerous meetings, and the thing about the state, they didn't want to put me on the agenda, which Auntie Kala'i here can verify, until it's called inadvertent, until they hit it. Then they're going to put you on the agenda. Then you're going to be able to speak for the burials. But I'm like, hey, no, we ain't going to wait for them to put the bulldozer down and start pushing. Then we're going to be able to come up with some sort of treatment plan for the landowners. But before that, I had to also figure out or find out from our kupuna and go out there to learn the knowledge that I needed to learn about, is our burials sacred? Are they kapu? And why are they kapu? With that, I went throughout the islands. As a filmmaker, going to the Island Burial Council meeting, I realized that there was many more families, not only myself, that was going through the same problem of lineal descendants not able to visit their kupuna. So I knew that there was a problem, and I knew that I'm a filmmaker, so I could bring attention to what's going on. And that's what happened. And that's what set me on a journey that I am on today. Now, the journey that I was set on was for 10 years, and it was a great one. It is something very priceless of all the different kupuna of what they told me and the teachings. Now, you're going to wonder what teachings they taught me and the knowledge that I know now. I don't know everything, but what they taught me was enough for me to show our iwi kupuna respect. But they also share with me the traditional and burial methods of how our people used to do things. And there were several different ways of how they did things. And many ohana, everybody had pretty much the same practice, but practiced differently on each island. Each ahupua'a was all different. And today, you cannot fit it into a box, and that's what is happening for us today. The state wants us to fit into this graveyard kind of idea of how Hawaiians did things, and it doesn't work. It doesn't fit. So for us, you know, our culture is very unique, very beautiful. We're very beautiful people, and we have an awesome culture. And when they did bury our kupuna iwis, they did it with love and care. Everybody has a life, yeah, and it's very important when they went into the ground, because there was families that took their time and took everything that they felt and put them into that grave. And today, they're disrespecting that, and they're just digging them up and just saying that, you know, these are just burials, and they forget the whole practice and the whole spiritualness that all went into that. I've got to meet, like I said, a lot of different people who helped me to complete the project that I'm working on today. And it's not easy, and especially for protecting burials, it's not easy. Now I have a different tone right now in Kalamai, because what's happening on Hawaii Island, it's just horrible. And these people are just disrespecting everything that we respect so highly, you know? But what we have to do is we have to believe, right? Because for me, with this burial cave, strange things happen in order for me to protect it. So the landowner, after that year has passed, I got it all documented, thinking, oh yes, you know, I got it documented, you know, there's some law to protect it. This landowner wanted to go ahead and still bulldoze. He actually brought a bulldozer to our house, and he landed it right in front of our yard. Our kupunas, they know, right? And he put it back, and he didn't bulldoze the property. And thank goodness he didn't. But I say it's a belief of what you have to do in order that the site will be protected. Things will work out, whether it be for the mauna or for our burials. Our belief inside is what's going to make us and carry it through. And the thing was, I wanted to be one voice, right, for this burial cave. I had my mom, but my mom also said, no, you speak for it. Because as soon as you get too much people, too much hands into it, everybody start to have their own idea. I had to make sure I hold the vision, right, of making sure that our kupunas was going to be protected, preserved forever in that place, and nobody's going to desecrate them. And that was my whole goal, and that was my whole vision, and it stuck, or it stuck all the way to the very end. So that was just part of my experience with that, of trying to save our cave, and it wasn't an easy process, and we can see what's going on today, what's happening, it's really, really difficult. But with us believing ourselves that you can do it in some weird and strange way, if it is your kuleana, it will work out, it will happen, and it happened for me, and I'm very happy to say that today I own the property. I don't own it. I'm a steward of it. I'm there to have in due time. It's for later. We don't know exactly what the purpose and the whole. I'm not going to make a park out of it. Basically, is kind of what I'm saying. This is something sacred. They wanted it hidden, and it's meant to be hidden. And then for us to go and exploit that, that's just not right on myself to go ahead and do that. So, but the whole thing is I needed support, and I did get support, from our community, from our kupuna, from my mom. My mom also was a huge support, because you're going to need that when you're up against these kind of things, especially like what's happening today. They need support, and everybody just got to support them. That's kind of like the mother supporting the effort, right? So same thing with the burials. Everybody's going to need their support, but each family has their own way of doing things. So we kind of, if you are the lineal family and that's your ohana, and you want to do what you're going to do, that's on you, right? But it doesn't allow me to step into another ohana's situation and throw my mana'o in. Yeah, that's a family thing. And that's what I learned about this. It's not for any of us to move them, yeah, because nobody told them to move them, especially the state has no right about moving these burials, or any of those board members to be moving those burials. Those are ohana's responsibility to decide what is the treatment and the protection of it. Yeah, so with that, but today I did protect our burial cave. I'm very, very happy that it's protected, because it has helped me. It has helped me to do a lot of things in our community. Like I always use these people like Samuel Kamakau is great. You have David Malo is great. Because these people put things in writing for us in order for us down the road, in order to go back and read about our culture. For me, I'm documenting so that if anybody has a question of what our kupuna said, not by the literature, you're going to hear it straight from their mouth. You know what I mean? So there's a difference of that. But it helps us, and each and every one of us has that in you. Everybody, and it's not about just on burial cave, and that's what I want to try and get across, is that it's not just about a burial cave. Everybody in their life has a burial cave, right? You either want to save the ocean, you want to save the forest, you want to save something. There's something in you that you want to save and protect. But if you believe in it, you can save it, no matter what or how big of a thing that you're going up against. With everything that I've done, it's action, right? So I'm documenting this film. Not only I'm documenting the film, but I also have a website that if anybody needs help or need any information about our burials, they can go to it as a reference, right? And then also on top of that, I decided to write a book, right? So about it. So all these things come together, and it's not just talking about it. Yes, the fight is there, but we need to put it into some sort of documentation for the future generations. So I just wanted to say mahalo nui for you guys' time, and you guys' support of being here.
Mahalo.